Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Mike Armstrong podcast show. And this afternoon, I'm joined by Daphney Phillip, who is an educator and an entrepreneur. And she's got an e-learning platform that we're going to have a little bit of a chat about, as well as just a little bit of history. So how are you doing today, Daphney? You okay?
Yes, I'm doing fabulous. Thank you for inviting me here, Mike. I appreciate you giving me the time to talk to you.
No problem at all. And thanks for coming all the way in from Maryland in the US of A, near Washington. Like you say, it's great to get international guests on my podcast. So yeah, thanks for coming on board. And obviously, I introduced you as an educator and an entrepreneur. How long have you been in the education space?
I've been in education for 20 years.
Okay, great.
So,
That's good. And what is it that you teach altogether?
well, I started out in elementary school. I started, my first class was a third grade where I taught every single subject. So I was teaching third grade before, fifth grade, sixth grade for a couple of years. So those are all subject. But when I got into secondary, which is junior high, it's a different setup, I think, in England than it is in the United States. But grade 6 to grade 12, we call that secondary. I've been math teaching for the last 10 years. I stick with only one subject. But doing after school program, I am STEM certified to teach STEM. I'm certified to teach robotic and coding to young people. And I do that in an after school club, not during the school day.
Yeah, that must be popular. Teaching coding.
Not really.
No.
Not really. No. So we wanted to include more diversity on it. So I created a girls club for minorities. So I wanted to make sure that we have different things other than sports, other than art, just to get them involved in engineering, get them involved in the high end, aerospace career. So I started that.
Yeah, I would have
Little by
thought
little.
I would have thought coding was popular because, like all the rich companies in the world, are all IT companies, and they all need coding. And I would have thought that the kids, who all want to be wealthy, would have loved the coding lessons. But that's not proven
Yeah,
to be the
but
case then.
it's not advertised like that here in the United States because there's so many different ways for the children to see money, to see themselves.
Yeah.
So then they don't see coding as such. There is actually a very huge intellectual gap in that area. Like you said, there is a lot of money involved,
Yeah.
but for some reason, it's not being introduced to the students at an early age. They find it out by accident, like a teacher like me will introduce it to them, but it's not very well known, very popular in school among teachers, unless they are teaching computer science or they themselves are engineer if they like it. But no, it's not popular at all.
Oh, that's a
Doctors,
shame.
lawyers.
Yeah, that's a shame because like people like Elon Musk, for example, he would be a coder, and he's doing great things in the entrepreneurial space. After having a web business, I think he started out doing was it PayPal, um, but yeah, those sort of people should be role models to kids, and that's what the kids of today should be looking forward to growing up to be like. But for some reason, they want to be TikTokers or something else instead.
Yeah, that's why, because they're watching the YouTube. There's a young lady, I believe, I don't know exactly, don't quote me, and I think she's from one of the Asian continent. She's a millionaire, billionaire just on YouTube.
Yeah.
So that doesn't necessarily take a lot of skill. And the problem with that is because the young people are good using social media, they assume that they're good with technology, and that necessary is not the case. Those
No.
are two different learning, two different platforms.
Yeah, it's different building technology than using it, because when
Right.
you use technology, it's built to be user friendly and simple. So therefore, you don't actually have to be that skilled to do it. But to build stuff, you've got to be a little bit more creative and skilled. It takes a bit of time, which is why they should be starting out at a young age to master that, so that by the time they're an older age, they can build stuff that's going to make them millions.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
But they
so
don't,
that's
in the United States, the young people have choices. What they seem of as they have choices in terms of career to choose to make them millions. And most of them see the sports
Yeah.
Like I said, they want to be a doctor, they want to be a lawyer, but anything outside of that, it's usually parents, who are who have knowledge, who work in certain industry, will introduce their children to it. But that's unfortunate. We need more young people in coding, more young people in robotics and the sciences, because that's what's going to move the world forward, especially with artificial intelligence that's coming. That's going to be huge. But yet there's a very gap. Number one, from the educator's point of view, a lot of them are not into that either. And then to get the kids ready, so that's just have to be something specific. It's not, something generalized in every single school everywhere
Yeah.
throughout the United States,
No, it's a
which is
shame. Well,
unfortunate.
keep putting the fight up, because sports careers and stuff are very hard to get success in. They're very short lived, and actually this day and age, you've probably got more chance of making it as a millionaire or billionaire, or even keeping your millions or your billions, which you make in a sports career. Got much more chance of keeping that and building on it if you're in the tech space than you are, in the sports arena, where money can be easily come and easily gone.
I did everything without my power for my son not to see sports as a career. I wanted him to be in the engineering space, and that's where he is. He graduated from one of the high school here as a aerospace engineering in high school already. I don't think sport should not be your financial goal or your way to make a career. If you're great at it, wonderful, but that's one in a million people that makes a career out of it. What's your backup? Even if you make it, what happens when you get injured? So, they always should be a backup from sports. Doctors, yes, they needed. Lawyers, yes, they needed. But the engineering and the science, to me, and the mathematics make the world go around. I'm partial because I'm a math teacher and I love these
Yeah.
things. But we move the world. Like planes, like need to be designed. The infrastructure of a country need to be designed, whether it be from roads to homes to anything you think of needs
Yeah.
to be designed in programs. So I want more educators to take on the campaign to introduce young people to the sciences and to get the universities to come down and offer free courses, so that way the young people can see that they can make money and can make a living, in the sciences and the math just as much you could do it with the Hollywood and the sports.
Yeah.
They're just not going to know your name on television, but they're going to know you for the different things that you create.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, and ultimately, if you pick a path and you're really good at it and you excel at it and you are passionate about it and you keep learning and developing in that sector, you can become a rock star in any sector.
Exactly. Especially if it's your passion. I know when we're in a public platform, you tend not to talk about religion, but what God said is whatever you're passionate about, in that which you're going to be rich as well. So
Yeah,
people, when you find something you're passionate about and you love it, you're doing it out of love, it does make you wealthy. Not popular, you could still be rich and not popular. People don't
yeah,
see, some of the young people don't see the connection sometimes. Like, only way
no,
they see money is the people they see on TV.
that's right. Yeah, everyone's chasing fame because they think that's the only route, but there's a lot of upside and downside of fame. But actually, being successful in something that you're passionate about means you never work in a day in your life, and it means that
Right.
you can actually make money doing what you enjoy, and you actually don't have the pitfalls of having to be on on telly and famous. You can actually just be successful and live your own life on your own terms.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
So
Exactly.
that
I do agree.
yeah, brilliant, brilliant. So obviously, as well as an educator teaching coding and mathematics, you also have an e-learning business. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, this I've been doing that on the side as a teacher before COVID. So it will come across as new. It's just newly registered. So in my e-platform, I have a math class that young people can take if they need extra support or they're missing, because of COVID, they miss a lot of instruction and they want to catch up. Parents can click on that. I just added a parent academy where we are going to help the parents navigate what their young people need to do by the time they enter grade 9th to grade 12 before they graduate. So they need to know how to have the set themselves up so they could be successful on applying for college, what they need to do to get themselves ready for college starting at grade 9, so they don't have to wait to the last minute fumbling around looking for things to do.
Yeah.
So that's for the parents. And for the educators, because I'm a tech coach, I do a lot of technology integration training as a staff leader. So I offer that to people who may not have the same resources from their school district who also want to learn it. That's the premium course, that's the membership. I have to give you an opportunity to get on for that. So it's different thing. It's just all about learning. You could want math, there's STEM, there's something for the parent and something for the student and something for the teachers. Because those are all the things I used to do on the side before COVID.
Yeah. So you're busy working and you're busy hustling.
Busy working, busy hustling. Because when
Good
this
on
is
you.
over, yeah. Because education is changed already. Some people are fighting the change. Some people are holding up with their dear life. You're gonna have to let go. It's changed.
Yeah.
The young people have been exposed to a different format. You have three group of people in education right now. Those people like me who's already adjusted, made the change, those who are still coming across very slowly, and those that refuses to change.
Yeah.
All of it's just you're gonna have to take a bullet and make whatever the group is. It's gonna decide your consequences in terms of your career.
Yeah. Yeah.
So my
Definitely.
e-learning platform is there to support people wherever they want need and support from.
It's like a top-up service or a wraparound service around whatever else they're doing in their educational sort of process.
Right, right. So right now I'm focusing on my niche in terms of customers is the 40 and above teachers who want to. I'm not chasing teachers. I'm not begging you. I'm not beating you with a stick on top of your head. Like when you come in, I am going to interview to see where their mindset is, because if they don't have the right mindset, I don't want to work with them.
No.
I don't, you're not going to waste my time. I don't want to drag you, force you, have to convince you this is good for you. You have to come in. When you come, by the time they come into my site, by the time I have enough time to talk to them, they have to be ready to move forward, because there's a lot of people that need support, and I want to work with folks that are ready to move forward.
Yeah, that sounds great. And what format does the education take? Is it written? Is it video? Is it interactive? Is it a quiz? What
All
does it
of
look
the
like?
above.
Okay, so it's a bit of everything, it's a bit of
Yeah.
reading, a bit of video prompting and educating at that time, and a bit of quizzing at the end to see how they absorb the information.
Right, and especially for I'm a blended learner myself, because that's why I'm finishing my PhD actually by December on blended learning technology. So I need a little bit of everything. I don't like static worksheet, and don't put me on the computer all day.
Yeah,
So I need a little bit of everything. I want to watch a video, and I want to have time to practice it, and I want to know where to go if I need support. So those are the things that I provide, especially with the teacher tech course that I have. I walk them through the whole process, how to engage the young people, how to maintain engagement, and how to manage yourself throughout the whole learning process and instruction. So I believe in simple, simple, simple. Don't complicate things. That's where things get lost, and that's where people get frustrated. You get frustrated, and the young people get frustrated. No, I have a little bit of everything in each of the courses.
that's good. Yeah, so I like that. That's very good. Blended learning is a very good way to go. Am I right in thinking you coded that yourself?
No, that's a popular term in education. They have it before, but now COVID is making it clear. Those of us who's been in the tech education world wanted school to be a little bit more blended. The other word for it's project-based learning.
Yeah.
So it's like that you have some time on the computer, and these young people have some time to practice. So that's what blended learning is. It's just like you don't do one thing only. You don't have even if they're in your classroom, you don't sit there and talk at the student the whole time. Some teachers do that. They stand in
Yeah.
front of the students, they talk,
Yeah. And the
and then
students
not
stop listening halfway through.
after
What have
10
you given?
minutes, 10 to 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And they send them home with a worksheet, and they're at home by themselves, and that's it. They bring it back. And so that's why sometimes the dichotomy of relationship with education is a love and hate. You love it, you hate it at the same time, because there's so many different parts that doesn't work. So the word blended is a popular word that was created a few years ago. There's a ton of research papers that's done in blended learning, project-based learning, flipped classroom. So that's what my PhD is going to be on, is focusing on. So
Yeah.
that's how I know.
And you know the platform that you use, yeah? Did you build that, or did you are you using
Let's not,
a subscription service or something?
let's not, that's what I mean, why we need a lot of people with coding in STEM education. I paid for someone to build my website, and it still have so many quirks. I can't get it to work to my perfectionist personality. It's driving me nuts.
Yeah.
I had to pay somebody. That's another thing. You pay a professional that did not deliver what they
No.
paid for,
Yeah, that's
and
hard. That's hard because
yeah.
I learned to do websites myself because I paid a professional who couldn't do the website how I wanted it. So I learned how to update it myself. It was a coded website. Actually, it was built in Flash long time ago, and it was built in Flash. And Flash looks really nice. You know, Macromedia, Flash is all interactive and stuff, but it was very slow
Mhm.
loading and very difficult for people to use, non-functioning. So I had to sort of go in and adapt it, if you like. And then I can build websites now, but that was the start of my journey, was getting a professional in who couldn't do what I wanted them to do, and then I had to just look. And also, I don't like sites that are static, that are out of date, and I always like to keep it updated. So I learned how to update it myself and stuff as well. And then that's how I got into the whole web development side of what I do. I'm not a coder myself. I'm a plug and play software user, but I've learned how to do that well over the years.
I did that at the beginning when COVID. I've always wanted to put my tutoring and my courses online, but when I did the Wix, I started out with Wix, the different platform that allow you to create a free website.
Yeah,
It wasn't as pretty, like you said. It took forever to load.
yeah,
It took a lot of time too on my part to put the whole thing together. So I figured, use my time, pay for convenience, or do it myself. So I decided to go with the latter. I paid someone, I'm end up spending the same amount of time fixing it.
yeah. The problem,
So now
the problem you
I'm
had, and it's not anyone's fault. It was just the way you seen the market. The problem you had, you went to Wix, and Wix isn't, in my opinion, one of the best platforms. So I use WordPress, which is a very popular platform. It's the most used on the planet. And WordPress allows you to do a lot more with it. So Wix is very good for somebody who just wants to set up a very basic website and that's it. But if
right,
you want to do
right, right,
something a
right,
bit clever with it, then it gets a bit limiting,
right, right, right. I understand that, so that's why I didn't do it.
No,
The guy that designed my website is using WordPress, but
yeah,
that's something I still have to take. What I'm saying is, I had paid for convenience
yeah,
because I knew I wasn't going to have enough time getting ready for school and getting the teachers ready. So my time was spent coaching and get the teachers ready for virtual learning.
yeah,
But I wanted to have my business online, so I paid someone. But
yeah,
right now, I have to go back and spend another amount of time because I have to learn WordPress. I don't know anything about WordPress, because if you click on my website, it works. But if you click on the courses, nothing shows up. None of the content shows up, even it's been updated for months and weeks. So it's still the same problem. So
yeah.
the warning I would give to people is like, make sure you need a website. Because if you go do your business without a website, spend the money to get some other way to do it.
Yeah.
Because you never know what you're going to end up with the people when they design your website, even if you pay money. So you
You
still may
also
not
need
end up with a lot
to,
of.
something I would suggest as well is to pay a monthly subscription or a management fee so that they don't just build the website and then leave you to it, but that you've got a service ongoing. Because a lot of people don't realize this, but with websites, there's a lot of plugins and a lot of stuff that need updating constantly. And what happens is if you don't update them, the connection fails, and then the thing that you had working on your site stops working.
That's exactly what happened.
Yeah,
That's
So
exactly what happened to my website, because they asked me to update a plugin and I did it, and I think I did something wrong with it. That's been so. Either way, as an entrepreneur, you can't. There's so many different pieces that I had to learn coming into the classroom. So all of those things were coming together simultaneously. So it's just a lot. You could get. I am overwhelmed just because of the pieces that I'm not well versed in.
yeah,
I know coding, but that's coding to teach. I have never sit there and code and program a computer or code and program a website. So I want to let the professional do what they do. I'm an educator.
yeah,
That's my superpower. I love being an educator. I love being a math educator. So that one I do well. I make sure I spend a lot of my time fine tuning my skill in education. I want to learn the basic enough about programming and coding just to add and change a picture in my website, but I don't necessarily want to be managing a website and managing the business, managing the clients and managing my, there was just too much at that on that side. I thought I paid a professional to take care of it and I was done with it, but it didn't turn out like that.
no, that's it. And we don't know what we don't know, and it's only when we learn it that we know we didn't know it, which is always the problem. Like, it is a problem. I've been through that learning curve myself. But on WordPress as well, something you want to check out. There's a lot of people have websites done, and they have it done by a web designer who's not a marketing specialist. So the web designer builds it to look nice so that you're happy and pay him. But the whole idea of a website is to bring business, to bring customers
exactly.
to you. Yeah, which means it needs SEO, search engine optimization, in order for it to get ranking, for you to start getting organic traffic and all of that sort of thing. Now, a lot of web designers, in my experience, they can build a nice looking website, but they won't get it to work, as in bring you customers. So you need what's called on-site optimization. And what that is basically understanding the keyword markets that people are searching for in order to find your product, your service, your courses. And what you need to do is make sure you've got the right keywords in things like your headers for your pages, your meta descriptions, which is the description of what the page is to the search engines, in things like your content pages, your URLs, so like your /, what the pages say. So a lot of web designers are not very clever, and they'll just put in things like services, so they'll have like your web domain name /services, but nobody's out there looking for services. They're looking for a type of services.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're looking for a specific type of services, like e-learning services. Yeah,
right. Math,
so
coding, STEM.
Yeah. So basically, you have to go around changing all of the URLs which lazy, uninformed, uneducated web designers can use. You need to change them to keyword phrases, which means that the search engines know what your website, your pages, your content is about, and therefore when people are searching for those things, they'll send them to your site. Your site will appear in the results rather than not appearing in any results, because the designers made it look lovely, but they haven't put the keywords in to tell the search engine what it's all about.
Right, exactly.
So that's something which you should
So
just
that's
double check.
something I'm gonna, when we finish with this call, we'll get a chance to look at it, because it's been 3 months. I reached out to the theme designer, I reached out to everybody else, and they all throw their hand in the air like, we don't know what the designer did, we don't know how to fix it. So in the meantime, it's still not working. So when we finish, I'll definitely we'll sit there and talk about that, because I need that done properly and functioning properly.
No problem at all. And there's another strategy which works really, really well with your website, whilst we're on the subject matter, is to add a blog to your website, as a news section. Okay, just having a blog moves you up the search engines, but actually, if you blog regularly, and there is a hotspot, there's a peak number of blog posts per month, which gets you into being a publisher of information. And if you publish information at that hotspot, your ranking will improve massively, because you're regularly publishing information. So basically, you need to be publishing regularly things like articles about coding, articles about education, articles about,
I have
just,
a ton of those.
yeah. Do you publish them on your blog, or do you just keep
No,
them?
again, I'm finishing a PhD.
Yeah.
So right now I'm doing a lot of article and everything. That's why I say I have a lot of them, but
Yes, it's
it's
learning material at the moment. It's where you're educating yourself from, learning about,
right. Right. So
Yeah,
once I finish that, there's a series of things that I need to do. But my goal is to get the website working, to get the money
yeah,
coming in, because money's been going out. As you know,
yeah,
as an entrepreneur, at the beginning, you shell a lot out.
yeah.
So I just needed to get it in a place, in a position to be able to do what you said. It won't make any difference right now with my blog if
No,
the website is not even showing up on Google.
yeah,
It's not being backed in the plugin. See, none of those things are functioning. So
yeah,
when these things are basic function, where it's smooth transition between the courses, the content, where my future customers can get access to it, then I could move on to the next piece. So I want to do one piece at a time because I want to do it right.
yeah.
So that's why I went through ahead and hired the designer, and I did it myself, because those will take time. Like people say, you could just write a blog, but that's time. I have to formulate the blog, make sure it's grammatically correct,
Yeah,
and
well,
the
that's that.
information
See.
is
So I've been blogging for 15 years, yeah, and actually I started podcasting at the end of April, right? And my podcast is an audio blog, right? Yeah, because I'm a
okay.
blogger for 15 years, and a lot of the strategies for my audio content is the same strategies I used to use for my blogging, yeah. So, like for
Right.
example, on my podcast at the moment, you'll see the A to Z of leadership, the A to Z
Right.
of podcasting, the A to
Okay.
Z of personal development, and the A to Z um, of mindset. Yeah.
Okay.
Before that, I finished five series, which were the A to Z of sales, the A to Z of marketing, the A to Z of networking, the A to Z of entrepreneurship, and the A to Z of social media. Right.
Okay.
So basically, what I do is I write A to Zs of anything I know a fair bit about. Yeah. And that's educational content. Yeah. Which means that people will come in, see that you know your subject matter, trust you, and buy from you.
Right, exactly. So, and that's the process. I'm at the beginning of launching my business online, even though I
Yeah.
have the history of all of that backing, but I don't have no history online.
No.
So I'm in the process of launching and the process of creating that footprint. So
Yeah.
I'm okay with not well known because I'm working on it. And like I
Yeah.
said, I just want to make sure I provide a great service to
Yeah.
the community first. I'm willing to do that. I'm prepared to do that. But I just make sure my platform, the tool that I'm using, are effective.
Yeah.
They receive the message, and I'm able to provide a message. You
Yeah.
know, so
But
that's where I am.
yeah, what
Um,
I teach people is about becoming the key person of influence in their sector. So being the thought leader, the person everyone goes to for knowledge, for advice, for information. Then you obviously build trust. And then because you're the person who everyone turns to, etc., you can charge more. You're going to get people coming to you rather than you having to go to them all of the time, etc., etc.
right,
That's why I
right,
podcast. Like, either blogging, podcasting, YouTubing, something where you put yourself up as a position of authority, as long as you know
right.
what you're talking about and you're authoritative in your information and your education, etc., then you'll build up a want and a need for people to come to you rather than you having to go to them.
That's exactly what I want, because especially when I'm busy, I'm managing so many different pieces of information all surrounding education. Education is my passion, but I'm more an educator advocate. I've done my years with the students. I did a great time. Right now, I'm realizing with this new thing with COVID open up a door. Like if educators don't step up to be part of the change, they are going to be left behind.
Yeah, that's it.
You can't
So,
you can't
yeah,
sit back and wait for somebody to tell you this thing. No, let's be the part at the forefront. Let's be leading. Let's partner up with the business that create the apps. Like, let's be partner up with the people that do the textbook. Let's partner
yeah,
up with people that do everything education and could provide input So you become the expert on how to move the reform of education. You can't sit back in the classroom waiting again. I've never been that personality.
No.
So I want to become the teacher's cheerleader to cheer them on. Let's come be part of the movement.
Yeah.
Let's
And if you
participate.
crack the online lead generation, so many people in all sectors struggle with that bit. So if you can crack the online lead generation, then you can educate the educators on how to educate, but also how to attract clients so that they can educate more people. So it's
Yes,
how it's to educate them on how to run an education business and not just an
right,
education process.
right.
Yeah, that's where your real value would be. And I speak to people in all sorts of sectors who are currently educating, like for example, I had someone on my podcast recently who's in the fitness space, and he's been in the fitness space for a long time. He cracked the code on how to, market himself, target himself, fitness professional, aim at people who want fitness in order to be able to put his business online, and he's been doing it for way before COVID. And so now, during COVID, there's a lot of other fitness professionals looking to move their business online. So he's actually got a business of educating fitness people how to build their business online.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I didn't even thought about it that way because I've been doing this. So that would be a great way for me to teach the teachers how to put their business online. Because they've been in the classroom so long, they're not seeing, they
Yeah, they
have a
don't know
lot
the
of,
commercials and the business side of
right,
it. So if you can
right,
really invest in the business part of the educational process, not just
right.
helping people to educate through the blended process, but actually how do
Okay,
I, build a website, get my coursework on, put my classes on, create marketing, draw traffic to the site, get
right,
content, all of that sort of stuff. If you give them the
right.
actual whole 360-degree look at how to build their educational business online, then that's a
Okay.
massive market at the moment with a load of educators going from, real world settings to online settings.
Right, right. Because I've done it before, so now that would be great. I will sit back and and think about it and create a strategy and how I could come up with that.
Yeah.
Like that is, I will take some time this weekend, figure out how to do that. If not, I'll reach out with you. Maybe we could partner up and come up with something.
Yeah, well, definitely, it's definitely something I can help you with, whether it be
Okay.
input into a strategy, whether it be reading your strategy and giving my feedback on it, whether it be partnering up on something like this. I'm
Okay.
into helping people grow business. So it
Good.
doesn't matter to me whether they're in the education sector, the fitness sector, or any sector. To me, it's about
Right.
I've got a lot of sales, marketing, networking, entrepreneurial, SEO, social media skills, which are useful to all businesses.
Right. Exactly. So yeah, well, like I said, let me come up with something. We think about it, and maybe we could rearrange. Well, I gotta get the website functioning first,
Yeah,
but the
yeah.
strategy part, I'll get it done this week because on weekend is my strategy time. So I would definitely put a note on that
Yeah,
to look
a
into
little tip
it.
for you with the website, yeah, because I use WordPress for a while. If ever I'm using anything and I can't work out how to do it, so I'll play around with stuff and see if I can fix a fault or a problem, etc. But if I can't, I usually just Google search, how to fix so and so plugin or how to do this or step-by-step guide on how to install, or just be very descriptive with what your problem is and how to solve it, yeah. And usually
Okay.
you'll find either an article or you'll find a YouTube video showing you how to do it. Well,
Again, we're talking about time.
yeah, I know. But you're also, you've got a problem at the moment you need to solve.
Right. I agree. I do agree. But it's just the time. It's like all of those things can be done. It's either I give up sleep, give up something between my obligation that must be done. That's time. I know I could do that because I started it. I read some of it just to be able to describe to the website what was wrong with it. But between the searching time, because now Google is the waste of time to do research. It's like you explained earlier, the person that have a gift to create SEOs, that's whose article come up. Some
Yeah,
of the article that shows up first are not necessarily quality articles. They're not necessarily quality information. Right now, Google is inundated with a bunch of nonsense. So you have to go through a lot before you can find something quality, something you could actually use.
Yeah, I find YouTube is, I used to always use Google, but I do find YouTube is better to find
Okay.
that educational process, because with YouTube, you can generally just press pause and then press play, pause, and go through the actions one step at a time, step by step.
Right.
That's what I do. I learn how to do loads of things that way.
Yes, I do like YouTube, and that's something I want to put some of my videotape for the teachers online too on YouTube. I had a website. You know, it was so funny. I created a YouTube channel when YouTube channel wasn't even popular,
Yeah.
and then I got busy and I let it go.
You
I
should
wish
have
I
just
had
kept
kept
it
it.
that. If you'd have kept it that, you'd have been in a very different position right
Yes,
now.
I would
You'd
have
have,
been in a different position. I started since 2004, 2012. I created a math video class for my math students because they needed to show up, and sometimes they were absent. I said, well, just watch this video and come back and see me. And I got busy again. I let it go, and now everybody's YouTube everything. It's just amazing how life
yeah, but you know
works.
that YouTube channel, do you still have it?
Yeah, I do. I still
Your
have it.
videos are still on it?
Yeah, I could
Yeah,
have access to it.
well, you know, because the domain, you know, the URL for that channel, it'll be, what happens is with URLs and domains, yeah, is they build up value over time by being in the search engines. Yeah.
Okay.
So even though you haven't done a lot with it, the fact that it's old and it's aged, right? It's an aged
Okay.
domain, it's called, yeah, means it has higher value in the search engines than brand new channels. So if
Oh,
you actually was to start creating good video content and put it on
okay.
that channel and use that as a driver with the linking, because in YouTube videos you can put in keyword descriptions of your content, but you also could put in URL links in the descriptions to your website. That would be one of the ways I would drive traffic to your site, is by building up the content on the channel, and the fact that the channel already exists as an aged domain means that at the moment you're not getting a lot of juice from that channel.
No, at all. I hasn't access. I just turn it on every now and then to make sure
Yeah.
it still work. I didn't put
But if
anything
you
in it.
started putting the right content on there, that's going to drive traffic to your site and to your courses and everything. And then all of a
Okay.
sudden, because of the age of the domain, it'll go quicker. It'll take off quicker than it would do if you just set up a new channel.
Okay. I will check on that definitely. So now you see, you're giving me more work to do.
I can't help it. I am a
Yeah,
strategist, like, you know.
I know. I appreciate that, and that's the same way that I am as well. When you have people who are passionate about what they do, they serve the world, and then everything else comes. That you could always work with people that are always so worried about, if I do this, I do that, somebody gonna take it. Everything I have, if it's mine, can no one take. I teach for free if I have to. I serve, but because it comes in other way.
Exactly,
You know,
exactly. I put all of my knowledge and information on my podcast for free and on my
right,
YouTube channel, like, you know,
right.
because
Everybody is so worried about it. What happens? Somebody take it. If they take it, they take it. Then I'm still get credit because they still have to listen to me. They still see my name. So next time, I get credit for somebody
I
else.
want them
It's
to
just
take it. I
amazing.
want them to take it. If they can't afford it, I want them to have it, because at some point in the
Right.
future they will be able to afford it. They'll come back to me for something else.
Yes, they remember someone else. Anyway, it's getting closer to my time because I have a meeting to go
Yeah,
to
no worries, no
at
worries.
12:15. So it's 12:10 right now. And is there anything else you wanted to discuss before I leave?
No, I think you've covered everything that is, like I say, just a general chat really, and see if I can help people and also showcase their business and what they're doing. So just to leave it on, remind us again of the web address and how people get in touch with you if they're interested in any of your online courses, etc.
Yes, once it's going to be www. The shape parallelograminstitute.com.
Okay.
Because I'm a math person, parallelograminstitute.com.
Yeah, brilliant. All right then. Well, thanks a lot for coming on my podcast and for sharing the information that you have to share. And I wish you all the very best for the future.
Thank you so much, Mike. So we'll get in contact further to address some of the stuff we talk about, and then hopefully I'll come back again and we give the update this time.
Brilliant, brilliant. That'll be fantastic. I look forward to the next session and then the next chat that we have.
Yes, thank you so much. Have a great day, everybody, and thank you for inviting me and for having me talking to you.
No problem at all. Thank you very much. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.